Arna found a pearl as big as your eye. It shone like the moon shines in the sky. A pearl like that could change your life, and she'd never come home again. Arna and the pirates all at sea. Our story begins with a piece of dirt. A little piece of dirt floating down through the sea towards the seabed. And there it floats in to a slightly open oyster shell. The oyster doesn't like that, and it coats it with a special liquid to protect itself. The same stuff it uses to make its shell. And it grows and grows and turns into a pearl. Most pearls, of course, are never found. They just stay there at the bottom of the ocean. But divers have always swum to the bottom of the sea in search of these treasures. And our story concerns one such diver, because before she was ever a pirate, Arna was just a humble pearl diver, living in a little village beside a reef in a thatched hut with her beloved papa. Every day she went out in the canoes with the other pearl divers, their bodies oiled against the cold of the depths, a little knife in their belts to defend themselves against sharks, and also to prise open the oyster shells. They would gather a handful of little pearls every day after many hours of diving and row back to the beach. And once a week the pearl trader came from the town, which was 2 days away. The local trader was called Ma Angie, and I'm sorry to say she wasn't a nice person at all. She always came in a carriage pulled by a horse with 2 guards to keep her safe. She was bent over and had long yellow fingernails. Her eyes always darted about suspiciously. She must have been about 60 years old, and was always munching raw onions.
Well, all right then. Show me what you've got. Bring out your pearls. Ugh. You're wasting my time. I might as well go home. That's it. Turn the carriage around.
The divers would say, "No, please, Ma Angie. Please, this is all we have. Can't you at least give us a couple of coins?"
What am I, a charity? I'll give you 2 copper coins for those little piddly pearls.
Every day Arna cooked for her papa, and then she went down to the beach where she would watch the sunset and play her flute. And every now and then the local dolphin would come along, and she would play a line of her flute. Boop, boop, bop, 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 bop. And the dolphin would reply. Then came the day that Arna went out with the canoes as usual, and she dived down to the bottom of the sea, and there she saw something bright, flashing, gleaming. She swam close, and there was an oyster half buried in the sand, and she prized it open with her knife and saw the biggest pearl she had ever seen. It was as big as an eye. She stared at it until her breath almost ran out, and then she plucked it out of the shell and hid it in her cheek and swam back to the surface. She decided she would keep the pearl a secret and didn't even tell her papa. And the next day, instead of going out with the canoes to look for more pearls, she walked to the market in town. It was a 2-day walk, and she had to sleep outside along the way. And as she arrived, she found the town was larger and busier than anything she had ever imagined. There were people everywhere, and enormous houses and carts and horses and donkeys and dogs and little fires burning. And when she walked in wearing just her simple pearl diver dress, everyone pointed at her and laughed. She was the only one walking barefoot, practically. She found her way to the market, and there she saw stalls full of clothes and shoes and meats and desserts and tools and all kinds of things that didn't exist in her village. And then she saw something she did recognize. Pearls. They were on a jewellery stall. and she walked along and saw that there was a town woman there asking the man behind the stall the price of a pearl. He told her it would be 2 silver coins. 2 silver coins! When Ma Angie bought all the divers had found in a week for a couple of copper coins. Arna shuffled towards the stall, and the man was about to tell her to get lost, when she pulled out her pearl and said, "Excuse me, how much for this one?" And a silence fell in the market. Arna didn't know it, but the pearl she held between her thumb and first finger could have bought the entire town.
I'll give you 3 gold coins.
Oh, don't listen to that robber. I'll give you 5 gold coins.
Okay, I'll give you 10.
Don't listen to any of them. Oh, I'll give you 15.
Stop, thief!
Everyone turned around, and there stood Ma Angie, an onion in her hand and 2 guards by her side, their swords drawn.
All pearls from that village are mine. Now hand it over.
Arna backed away, and the guards approached, their swords pointing towards her, big grins on their faces. But she wasn't going to give up so easily. She started running, and when she found her way blocked, she jumped up on the stools and ran across those, sending food and tools and clothes sprawling to either side. The guards chased along, but she ran barefoot, jumping from stall to stall, and the market owners getting furious with her as she went. She came to the end of the market and ran along a little jetty towards the sea.
There's nowhere to go now,
Ma Angie said, catching up with the guards as they walked towards Arna, who had nothing but water behind her.
Now come on, you little witch. Hand it over. Maybe I'll give you a small little copper coin for it.
Arna, in response, took out her flute.
Now, what is this then? A musical?
Arna played a cascade of notes, then stepped off the jetty backwards into the sea. The crowd gasped and then watched open-mouthed as Arna rode her dolphin out of the bay. Ma Angie stood there on the docks, waving her fist at her.
I'll get you for this, you little sea snake. I'll get you for this. That pearl will be mine.
I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Arna and the Pirates. My name is Tom Thumb, and I write and record these stories for you. In the next episode, we'll discover what happens to Arna when she's alone for a year on a desert island. Arna and the pirates all at sea. Oh, Arna and the pirates all at sea. Arna and the pirates all at sea, and they'd never come home.